Seems like it seems like we just did this.
Because we did.
I know, I know, I know. So I have no excuse to get anything wrong. So good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Board of Selectmen's Thursday, 25th, 2025 open session regular meeting. We are conducting this meeting using the Zoom webinar technology. And for the next segment, which is citizens' comments, if you want to make a comment, please look for the raise your hand feature and raise your hand, and then we will permit you to speak. But prior to doing that, I am going to take a roll call vote of the Board of Selectmen. Robin Hunter, present.
Dave Haviland, present.
Hudson, present.
All right, and now I will ask if there are any citizens' comments. I
It
don't.
looks like it is just the 8 of us tonight, right
Yeah,
now.
I was gonna say I don't
Well,
see
because
anyone.
everybody said, oh, there's no way they're having another meeting.
I've got an idea. What are you guys doing next Monday?
Well, it looks like it's going to be a quick meeting too. So I would like to welcome Chief Vinci to our meeting this evening. You are the highlight of the meeting, Chief Vinci.
Thank you.
As
And
always.
right, well, tonight he's the star. And tonight we are going to have a discussion and presentation by the chief on the potential implementation of a license plate reader camera, which I'm assuming would be at the only stoplight we have in town, but I don't want to steal your thunder,
Sure.
so I'm going to let you go ahead and make your presentation.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you everybody for having me tonight. Pleasure to be here. I'm going to start sharing my screen
Okay.
if I don't know, Chris, if you have to let that happen.
Hang on one sec.
Okay.
All
Chris
set.
has to give you the power.
Should be good now.
Okay. So does everybody see that?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
indeed.
Okay, so the name of the license plate camera that Robin had mentioned it's called Flock, and this is a company that's been around a while. If you pay attention when you're driving, you would see them in a lot of different towns. So on the bottom right is what it actually looks like. So it's a little solar panel, and that little device is the camera. So it's self-sufficient. It doesn't need to be charged. So, and much to your to agree with your point, Robin, it would be at the stoplight. And I'll just go a little more in depth here. So what is it? It's a license plate reader. It's license plate recognition. So it gathers facts about vehicles, not individuals, which I think is an important distinction to make. So it gets license plates. It would also capture decals on cars as an identifiable trait of that vehicle.
So what do you mean by a decal?
Like a sticker, you know, on
Okay.
something on your back window or something on your
Okay.
bumper.
So like our Dover transfer station?
Yeah, I don't know if it would, I mean, something that small, maybe not, but maybe if you
Okay.
had, you know, like a college sticker with a
Okay.
university on there,
Okay.
it would pick that up in the photograph.
Okay.
So what it does is it alerts police officers and departments of hot listed vehicles. So what that means is that if we have a vehicle that we know is tied to crime in town, we can enter that vehicle onto a hot list, if you will, into the database. And then every time that vehicle drives by a flock camera in the Commonwealth, we would get a notification that Mass 123 ABC is now in Revere or Saugus. So that's what the hot list is. And I think this would be helpful when we identify vehicles involved in some of the crimes we've seen since I've been here, the breaking and entering the motor vehicles on the overnights. I think this would be very helpful in tracking them and seeing where they may land. But it would only be for crimes. So in other words, if we're not looking at a potential crime, we're not going to be looking at this information. It's very specific. I would limit users probably to me, the administrative sergeant, and the detective, so that it wouldn't be department wide, because I don't think there's any need for it to be department wide. and we would really maintain a tight control on who has access to the data. So, and the other thing is there's a database, and that the next bullet point mentions that we can access data from other Flock customers. So it's one big network in Massachusetts. So we're able to see this vehicle wherever it trips in Massachusetts. And these exist everywhere. One of the slides upcoming says that, but they're on the Bourne Bridge, they're on the Sagamore Bridge, they're on the Mass Turnpike and over major highways. It looks like a toll. Well, the I don't know what it's called. It's the Easy Pass, but it looks
Right.
like that you drive under it at speed, and it's over the top of the road. And oftentimes there's license plate reader cameras on those bridges as well. So it adheres to all the state laws. Flock's been around a while. They know what they're doing, and they make sure that it's done correctly. And like I said, the highest traffic flow would be Walpole at Center. What it isn't, then this is, I think, important. We're not collecting personal information. It doesn't take pictures of the driver, the passengers. It's just the vehicle. So in Massachusetts, the registration of your vehicle is state property, meaning that there's no expectation of privacy on your license plate. Meaning, if it's parked in your driveway, a police officer could run that license plate and be lawful in doing that. So it's just a way for us to capture that RMV registration information. There's no facial recognition. It will not be used to enforce traffic laws. This will not be a device that can issue red light violations at Walpole and Center Street, like you see in different parts of the country. I think Arizona has a few of those, and you see when you're driving, this intersection has a camera, and it would take a picture of the driver, and then they would mail a ticket to that driver. Important thing to note, data is only stored for 30 days, and then it's purged. So that means if a crime is reported on day 31, for whatever reason, there's a delay, we're not going to be able to access data from that day of the crime. That's all going to be wiped. And that's the standard that Flock sets. They do allow it to be extended per police department policy or shortened, but that's their baseline cookie cutter data retention time. So this is just locally, who else is using it? So I noticed it the other day. I didn't realize Westwood had enacted it, but I was coming down Gay Street where it meets 109, and there's one right there by the old Appleseeds building. And it jumped out at me because I know what I'm looking for. But I think, it kind of blends in. But again, it's Westwood, Millis, Wellesley, Needham. We actually used Millis the other night. We had an endangered missing person, and we asked them to put the license plate of that person's vehicle into the database so we could try to pinpoint his location and get him the help he needed, which actually worked. He was located in Dedham, and he was provided services after that. So that's a real life, literally 48 hours ago, use of this. Now, again, Millis was nice enough to let us, or to use their database for our purposes. Their database for our purposes. But that's a real life example of what else this can do besides just solve crimes. It can find people in peril, like this gentleman the other night. So 5,000 law enforcement agencies across the country, businesses and HOAs use this. I know there's at least one neighborhood in Westwood off of Summer Street that they capture every license plate that comes in that cul-de-sac. And that's something the HOA pays for themselves. Businesses have this down at shopping centers, so they can, with a lot of retail theft issues, they'll post it at entrance and exit points to capture license plates. So it's very prevalent in today's society. And I don't know, it's not letting me. I think that's my last slide. And just a few other things that I had a couple other things, but I decided to try to make this short and sweet and then take questions. So, the cost of this is $3,000 per year per camera. So I'm only asking to get one. Flock has a thing where, in order to get access to their database, they want you to have 4 or more cameras, which would be very cost preventative to Dover PD, and we wouldn't do that. They've agreed to give us that access with just the one camera. you know, and there is money in the budget right now that we could use for that if it is approved and if the board agrees to go forward with it. But overall, I think it's a very good piece of technology that would help us solve some crimes and you know, being able to, you know, close cases that sometimes go without a solution because we don't have much information. Because again, like when these crimes, going back to the breaking and entering the motor vehicles, that's in the middle of the morning, sometimes 2, 3 a.m. There's really not many cars on the road in Dover at 2 to 3 in the morning. So you could literally look at what that captured at Walpole at Center, and chances are that vehicle is going to be captured if it crossed through there. So, so that's my presentation on it. I'm happy to answer any questions. And one other thing to note, and is Flock has a whole public relations side to their company, and they are willing to come to a meeting and answer more pointed questions about, you know, the storage, the cloud, and other questions that people may have if we choose to go that route in the future. So.
So thank you, Chief.
Sure.
I think you hit all the high notes. If I understand you correctly, our PD probably would not look at any of the data unless there was reason to do it. Like if another town approached us, if there was an Amber Alert, if somebody was reported missing. So it's not something that's going to be a continuous stream and running all the time. It's just a tool on an as needed basis.
That's yes, absolutely correct. And just to, you know, expand on that a little bit. So say, for sake of argument, Needham was looking at a vehicle and they noticed that it was in our town. They could call us and say, hey, it just hit your Walpole and Center camera. We want that vehicle for X. Can you see if officers can track it down and do a motor vehicle stop? There's a lot of mutual aid that could be done with this too. But yes, this would only be used as needed. We're not going to be looking at this data just to look at it. It's
Right.
you know, because otherwise, I mean, I have no interest in who's coming through town unless there's a crime involved. So.
Right, right. And you know, I could see it having been a very useful tool when we had those breaking and enterings, because there were the same incidences occurred in Needham and Wellesley. So we, you know, it would have been helpful to track to see if the same cars actually came through Dover or if it was a different group that was coming through Dover.
Correct.
Yeah, you know, again, for me, it's just another tool, and technology helps us all. So I am, you know, I understand how it's going to be used. I would certainly be supportive of it. And I think, you know, we would need to do our own PR campaigns, in my opinion, just to let citizens know that it's being installed and it's a tool for the police, and, you know, it's going to be monitored on an as needed basis, and it's not going to be used to give you speeding tickets when you flow through the red light.
Yep.
So, all right,
That's
thank you. I have no additional questions.
I don't have any questions. I think we all understand the concept and the benefits. I have a humble suggestion based on the feedback of the cameras at the transfer station that we hold some kind of public forum as part of the education Robin just spoke about. Find out if there are major concerns from a group of citizens and what they might be. I can't think of any, but if we hold the forum, we've allowed people to have a voice, and that in itself is probably important. But I have no questions, Chief, and you know, I totally get what you're trying to do and why you're trying to do it. So,
okay. Thank
You
you.
know, maybe at the open house you can just have an information booth about it, because you're going to get more people at the open house than at the information session.
that is for
true.
sure.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Right,
Yeah,
And
and in
then you can
principle,
just say you had an
I'm fully,
information session at the open house.
right.
Okay.
and I certainly agree with Robin and Dave that I understand the purpose of it, and I'm certainly in favour of it. Out of curiosity, now that's a cross street. It's Centre and Walpole. How do you plan to get traffic, images of traffic going in both ways across the intersection, if you
So
know what I mean.
that
Good
would be,
question, Cam.
that's a very good question. So that would be, you would not, is the short
Okay.
answer. So you would be able to get, say you had it on the traffic light by mobile, you would pointing towards the townhouse or pointing out, you would get cars going this, you wouldn't get the center street traffic.
Right.
So
But that's the core traffic anyway, so that's
right. And the only way to
probably
do that is
realistic.
the only way to
Have
do
another
that is to
camera.
add another
Yeah.
camera, and I'm not
Yeah.
interested in that. I think
Yeah.
one's a good spot for us.
Good.
All right. So how about I make a motion? Oh, do we need a motion? No. Well, I think we're all supportive. We just,
You're on mute, Michael.
Sorry,
Do
no,
it.
Robin's answered the question. Yeah, it was just to first publicly present this, get any feedback from you, and then as the chief and Dave suggested, having some sort of public information session. Ultimately, we come back to you before any contract will be signed.
Sure.
Okay, all right. And that's, I think the open house is the perfect way just to say, hey, we're doing this.
Okay.
And
That
then
sounds-
a quick blurb on the website saying,
Right.
so, we're covering bases here in case there is someone who has issue.
Right.
Okay.
And I
Well-
think your presentation is perfect because it's
Yeah.
short, it hits the
Yeah.
key points.
Yeah, I mean, we could go down the rabbit hole in the statistics and the data, but I think
Not
the very
necessary.
30,000-foot view, I think, is better. So
Right.
My guess, Chief, is that in the not too distant future, someone's going to say, "Why don't you put one north-south
Exactly.
on Springdale Walpole?"
yeah,
Right.
very well could be. Yeah, because they're very effective. There's no doubt about that.
Right. Very helpful. All right, well, good luck to Notre Dame.
Thank you, everybody. Have a
Yeah.
great weekend. Take care of
Thank
yourselves.
you,
Travels.
too.
Thank you, Chief.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, so the next item of business is a vote to declare a fire department ambulance cot as surplus material. As you all know, because I think we've already done this all as a core team here, whenever there's surplus material, the department has to get our approval to declare it as surplus material. So the fire department is asking us to declare an ambulance cot as unusable. The cot is 18 years old. And it does not fit into the current ambulance. So the fire department plans to offer the cot for sale through an auction service. They believe the value approximates $400. Any
I'm
questions?
astonished that it would bring $400, but if they
Me
can get
too.
it,
If they
so
get
much the better.
$400, I say it's a deal.
Yep. Sold.
Right. So anybody that's looking for an ambulance cot. So I move to deem a fire department ambulance cot as surplus item.
Second.
All in favor? I, Robin Hunter.
Hi, Dave Haviland.
I can, Hudson.
All right. And moving right along, the next item of business is that we have some appointments / reappointments for committees and commissions. So this evening, I am going to request that we reappoint Jane Moore and Jean Horsby to the Historical Commission, each for a 3-year term ending June 30th, 2028. And thank you, Jane and Jean, for offering to be reappointed. Also, we have a second request, and this request is coming from the Sustainability Committee. And the chair, Anna Nagy, has requested that the board appoint Camille Boudreau and Lila Branton to the Sustainability Committee, each to a 1-year term ending June 30th, 2026. And I don't think I need to read the rest.
think
Oh,
you
I,
have to, but I mean, I can just highlight, because it's kind of
right,
exciting. They're both students.
right.
And so your motion will have a waiver of our bylaw that requires people to be registered voters in order to serve on a committee.
Right. And this is really exciting that we have two students because when the committee was first established, there was no interest at all from the students being members on this committee. So this is very exciting to get these two members. And when we were talking to Medfield, they have youth on their committee as well. So,
Well, not only that, I can share with you that both of these individuals are absolutely terrific, full of energy, full of ideas, and are already helping the committee. So,
well, that's awesome. Yeah.
Indeed.
It's so great to get the entire town involved, even our non-voting members, but soon to be voting members.
right, exactly.
So,
Robin, one thing I just wanted to mention as you get to the motions, one thing I neglected to include is there was a recommendation by council after the appointment motion for Camille and Lila, just to add subject to written permission from a parent or legal guardian. There's no liability here, but she just suggested it might be nice to have that in the file given they're under 18.
okay, that makes sense. All right. So I am going to move to reappoint Jane Moore and Jean Hornsby to the Historical Commission, each for a 3-year term, effective July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2028. Can I do these both together and then we vote? Or do you want
I
us to
think
go?
so.
Yeah, okay. And then I'm going to move to approve waiving in this specific case for the appointment of the Sustainability Committee, the Dover Code requiring registered voters, and to appoint Camille Boudreau and Lila Branton, subject to written permission by each's guardian or parent, to the Sustainability Committee for a 1-year term expiring June 30th, 2026.
Second,
All in favor? I, Robin Hunter.
I, Dave Haviland.
I Cam Hudson.
All right. And the next item is 1.4, and that is selectmen updates. And the only update I have is to beg and grovel to citizens of Dover to attend our special town meeting on Monday evening at 7 o'clock at Lindquist Common. And to read the executive summary, it is very important to the fiscal health of the town that people attend the meeting and understand what a no vote will cost the town and taxpayers. So I encourage everybody to read the material, go to the website, and please attend the meeting. This is a Massachusetts law. And voting no doesn't repeal the law. It just makes Dover non-compliant, which will be costly to all of us. That's my only update, because all I've done is look at the town meeting presentation and nothing else. I was at a planning board meeting, but it was a non-event. You know, it was a couple of swimming pools and they were well prepared and passed site plans reviews passed without an issue.
I have a suggestion that if it's not already done, the highway sign right on the Protective Services property, right on the corner there, is that by chance going to be flashing town meeting tonight?
So
On Monday?
already done. It's up now. Advertising it, and maybe we on Monday we could change the language to say tonight, just to make it clear. But it is up now in advertising town meeting.
Is there
Thank
a
you.
way we could
Perfect.
put a big smiley face on there?
We are limited to the number of characters we can fit on there, but
Emojis don't count. Okay. All right. Well, I had a busy Thursday. One, I had office hours over at the community center, which was rip roaring busy, so full of life. It was
And that
just
was today, Dave?
no, last Thursday.
Okay.
Last Thursday. And it was actually really fun just to watch the level of activity. Um, and I also learned that it's not just Dover citizens that are using it. There were folks there from Westwood, Norfolk. I mean, they're like, this is the greatest community center ever. I want to come here now. So I guess that's a good thing. So there was also, I had two more formal sit downs with citizens, and a great idea that, unless anyone objects, is to speak to the chief about safety of kids with motorized vehicles, be it bikes, cars, razors, what have you.
Yeah,
Uh,
they're much more prevalent. I mean,
Yeah, they're really coming up in popularity, and to have the police put something on the website just about general common sense safety rules. But I think that some parents need to be reminded not to let their kids bomb around on streets, because real cars come around the corner, and it can be very hard to see them.
you
So
know, Dave, and especially now, it's really noticeable we're beginning to lose daylight,
yeah,
and they're hard to see when it starts to get dark. So
yes. And that's why I listened to this suggestion, and I'm like, that's
great,
beautiful.
it's really good idea.
Yeah, and so I'll just speak to the chief and see if he can write up a safety blurb to go out and start addressing this. Go from there.
Right, and Susanna, Chris, maybe we put a blurb in the newsletter, like just as the days get shorter and it starts getting dark, keep in mind, because even dog walkers, when you walk in a black coat with black pants, you're really hard to see, and we don't have sidewalks.
This is all offering me a great segue into my commentary. Thanks to Mona, we're now moving forward with establishing the sidewalk safety working group.
She
And
paid us to give you that intro.
and I really do have to thank her for progressing that. I think that's an important issue for the town. And yes,
Congrats.
the whole sidewalk issue is a challenging one throughout the town, I think. But we're really focusing in this case on the schools. And the safety of getting school children to and from school and to the town centre. The other point, I had also had a meeting with a citizen who was interested in the status of the 3 to 5 committee, and was encouraging us to move forward with reconstituting that and bringing it to conclusion. And I think that's a good idea too. Now, is that something that you own, Dave, or is that
It is something that
something?
I own. It's on my list of, I've actually got a whole nother meeting to report on when you're done. But since I
Oh,
gave you a
sorry, I
segue, I
took
was like,
over
you got
from
to
you.
run with it.
He was so excited.
He was.
Yes,
I
by the
wasn't going to
opportunity of a
interrupt him.
segue.
So, are you all set, Cam?
Yes, I am. That was all I had.
So the addressing 3 to 5, since you're segueing right back to me, we do need 2 more volunteers because we lost 2 or 3 of the original members.
Did I give you the name of that one gentleman?
If you did,
Yes, sir. Okay, I'll send you. He's a retired lawyer, lives in town, really interested in participating. All right, let me send it to you.
Thank you. That would be terrific. And so, yes, we'd love to get that going, but probably even more important for the town is the financial working group had its first meeting with Joanne with a full staff, including Chris and Mike, and it was just great to start that process. We've been looking, we had a great discussion talking about the trust funds, cash management, management of the OPED funds, the bond proceeds management, the revolving funds. And so we're gathering information. Joanne's going to get a list. Joanne was reaffirmed that well, once all this information is gathered and put in a nice format that she can share it with the selectmen on a quarterly basis. I mean, I think 5 minutes in a spreadsheet is going to make us all feel a lot better when that's accomplished. Three things that came out of it in the other column. One is that the working group thinks that it would benefit the town if this became a permanent advisory committee to the treasurer. A lot of towns have a committee exactly as we're constituted. We kind of did it by accident, but we have one member from the Board of Selectmen, one member from the Warrant Committee, and one member at large. And that seems to be a good size group. Again, it is advisory because all the statutory authority lies with the treasurer. But there's a lot that we can do working with Joanne to improve the financial position of the town. And that's what we're trying to do. So if everyone could give that some thought, and if I could ask Mike and Chris to put that on our next regular agenda, just to talk about it, see if there's any improvements, and then get that done. The second thing is the investment policies and procedures. Before we get into asset management, you really need to know, what are you trying to solve for? And Joanne has had great luck with Rockland Trust. They are more than willing to come out and meet with the various groups, including the Hovey Fund for the library and the Larrabee Whiting Estates. What are their goals? What are their risk tolerance? What is their time horizon? Are there any capital projects on the horizon? All those good questions, and then we can let Rockland or whoever is appointed to manage the money finally have a roadmap on what we would like them to do. This roadmap really hasn't been shared in too long. So, and the final one, which is a fun one, I hope I get to report this every time we meet. But Joanne, maybe it's Chris, I'm not sure who exactly found it. But there is a $3.5 million trust that the Chickering family gave us in 1917. And the trust is managed by a corporate trustee at a bank. That bank has either been bought or merged a half dozen times, maybe more. And they supposedly have been sending us $150,000 a year. And we are going to try to bring that back. I guess, Mike, you found that, or Chris, someone found that we had instructions on how to use that money in the past. And it's just going to be something, a fun thing that we're going to be able to divvy up in terms of the Board of Selectmen, because it will be our decision on how that money is spent when it's received.
So it's not earmarked for the schools. It can be for anything.
Mike, I believe it's cemetery and.
Yep. So the fund, there's actually three funds that are all under the Chickering umbrella. So yes, cemetery, park, trees, and historical. Those are the categories that the
So
funds
the Carol house needs a new roof.
It does. Yeah.
Well, this will buy about 4 shingles, but okay. But yes, so I mean, but this, what a fun thing to have presented when we all looked around the room. We're like, huh. But it is managed by a corporate trustee, and then Joanne has made some initial inquiries. Can the town treasurer take over as trustee? I'm sure the bank doesn't want to let this go, but we'll see.
So I think sorry, Dave.
No, it's all. Go ahead, ask your question. I got one more thing.
All right. No, it relates to this. So I think it's important. My assumption is that the 150 has just gone into free cash, because I don't want the town to get the sense that it just got squandered.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's no evidence of anything.
Right.
So sorry if I implied that. We just.
No, you didn't at all. I just was thinking maybe somebody would say, well, well, where did the money go? You got 150 each year. Where's it going?
Right. I think it was just the path became obscured with a loss of institutional memory
Okay,
about a decade ago, maybe a little longer.
okay.
And now it's just time to bring that back and allow us to decide where that money goes.
So have we received the funds or no in the last 10 years?
I believe we have,
Okay,
but it was so new, Robin.
okay,
I will misspeak because we just found out we had it. And this
okay.
is, I mean, what a wonderful problem to have.
No,
Oh,
it is a great
Mm.
problem. I just wonder, because the funds clearly came into the town, so where did they go?
probably free cash,
That's
but
what I'm
Joanne did not have that answer because she literally just found
just
it. So
discovered it. Well,
yeah.
Mm.
Um, and then the final thing is after we wrestle some of the money management issues to the ground, um, would the Board of Selectmen like this soon to be advisory committee, I hope, to also wrestle with some of the broader financial policies and bring recommendations to the Board of Selectmen? Or would you like the Board of Selectmen just to tackle that on its own?
so I think that's a great comment. My vote would be to talk a little bit to Chris and then put together a charge for this task force. What is your mission and add that to it. I think it sounds like a great idea, but I think you should just talk a bit to Chris and see where this committee can most add value for him and help him.
Great perspective. Couldn't agree more. So Chris, now it's your big decision and you don't have to make it tonight.
Absolutely. Well, happy to discuss. We can definitely sit down and see where we're at
Right.
now and figure out where we can go in the near future. So I'm happy to start the discussion and pull together information similar to what we did with the finance advisory group. So I think we have a good model for progressing here.
It's just another set of hands
Yep.
of financial. I mean, the one thing the town does have is a lot of people with financial expertise. So it's another set of hands that can help do research for you guys. And since time is limited, well, maybe someday we'll have time.
Well, it's true, but it's the concept of how can we help is the right
Right.
mindset. That's what we want to do. And Joanna's made some great strides already. We're looking forward to getting the information, to sharing that information, to have the trust funds managed the way that the trustees are looking for. All these good things, as well as reduce investment advisory fees significantly, and to remove any bank that is charging us fees without paying us interest. And believe it or not, there were a lot of them. So Joanne's like, yeah, no, bye. So I very much like what she's done already. So
I'm jealous that you get to work with her.
yeah, right. So that's really it. I don't know if anyone has any questions, but it was a busy day, but a very productive one.
Sounds
Good.
sounds fun. And you
I,
found money.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd also like to sort of segue on, now we're talking to Chris about financial processes. I'm really thankful, Chris, that you're making such progress with the Collins Center to move forward the capital budget planning process. And I'm sure that's going to meet with a lot of satisfaction from a broad set of people who are involved in decision making. I know that Woody Weiss, as the chairman of the warrant committee, is eager to bring a much shorter process into play there. And it looks like you're well on the way to doing that. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. My pleasure. And we've done a lot of work this summer with everybody, and then really put in extra work. So we're a little bit ahead of schedule, and we're hoping to start sharing some information that we've gathered so far with their respective boards and committees. So that'll be coming in the next few weeks.
Did I hear you
Excellent.
right? You're a little bit ahead of schedule.
We're
That is
trying to be.
awesome.
I probably shouldn't have said that, but
Right.
Never admit that again. So.
but we're doing good, and thanks to the department heads who completed a ton of requests off cycle to try to get a jump on this. So we're in a good spot right now.
I think it's going to help everyone.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So, Mike, it's your turn. Are you ahead of schedule in any of your projects?
Oh, I wish. But like
That was
Robin,
mean.
we all can have goals and dreams.
Dreams. Those are dreams. I have those dreams.
But like Robin, since our meeting last week, it's been all things MBTA. So really don't have much other updates other than just, as you said, please attend. We need you there. We need a quorum. Monday, 7 p.m.
Yeah, I mean, we really need a quorum, so email your friends, ask them. Somebody asked me if the selectmen could give Linkwitz Commons a one-day liquor license and wine and cheese. They thought that might get us a quorum faster.
I think you're on to something.
All right.
Yeah, it's I think we're either going to struggle to get a quorum or we're going to have 500-600 people there.
Oh God, I hope you're right. I mean, and this meeting can go two ways. It could be 30 minutes and you're done, and it can be 4 hours. It's just really hard to know.
I don't
Because
see how it could go over an hour, Robin. It's only one topic, so people can come up with their objections, but once they're voiced, it's rehash. I mean,
right. And there have been so many information sessions, and the questions have evolved over the information sessions. And now this past week, we've just been trying to make sure that the answers we have are factual, because this is an ever evolving thing. So we've gone back to make sure that everything we have is current information, and because we want to make sure that we're providing the town with facts.
agreed. Thank you for doing that. I know that
Oh,
the
it's
planning
not
board,
me.
it's Jody and Carol are leading the charge.
And Melissa and Mike and Nina. I mean, this is a team that's really focused on making sure that the presentations are concise, that they're factual, that we understand the landscape, who's in compliance, who isn't in compliance, what grants have been pulled recently, what are excluded, so every question that we can think of. I'm sure we're gonna get one on Monday night that we didn't think of. But we have a lot of information, and we should be able, and we should be able to come up with an answer.
Well,
I would just very much like to be one and done.
agreed.
Indeed.
So, okay. Well, you want to get on the consent agenda and have a quick meeting?
Right. So the consent agenda. Oh my word, it's only 7:13. The consent, who wants to sing or play an instrument? All right, so for the consent agenda, the following items make it up. Approval of Sunday, October 12th, 2025, Sherbrooke Road block party and road closure. The party and road closure were approved by Chief Vinci, Chief Smith, and Kevin McCabe. Approved 2025 special one-day liquor licenses for September 29th, October 4th, 7th, 8th, 10th, 11th. There are two on the 11th, 12th, 18th, 19th, 24th, and 29th. So I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor? Aye, Robin Hunter.
Hi, Dave Haviland.
Hi, Cam Hudson.
And Mona will want us all to come in and sign these.
Indeed.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm very, do we get invited to the Sherbrooke Block Party? That's, I mean,
I don't know, I was just thinking to myself, there are all these new young families. My neighborhood should do a block party too. And I think the end of my street is perfect.
so.
So maybe I can get some of the young families to do something. It would be fun around Halloween. You could bob for donuts and
So while we're on this like smorgasbord, for a future meeting, I don't know if the specific event or how it should be handled, so I'll just throw it in Mike's lap and then let you decide for the future. But there was a incident where someone, hopefully unknowingly, basically clear cut their entire lot. And there was a cease and desist order issued by highway, and there was supposed to be a mitigation and replanting plan for the stormwater and other bylaws. And this is just sitting there, and it's been a year. And I was asked what can be done to move this along properly. So again, it's brand new. I don't expect any answer tonight, but it might be a matter of asking Highway to follow up on this, or I just don't even know the process and procedure when the town acts and then the homeowner ceases to act at all. Then how do we get it going is really. I'm not looking for draconian fines or anything like that. We just want to get it moving so the
Sure.
neighborhood
No,
can get back to
I
normal.
appreciate that. We can talk through that. I will say I suspect it's something that a property that I am aware of. There has been things going on behind the scenes, albeit slowly. But our town engineer is charged with working with them, and that has been happening. But I do agree. I think we need to look at. I don't think the bylaw contemplated this slow of movement. So I think we need to look at how we can speed things along. So I appreciate that, and we can work on that.
but I will tell you, in the defense of these homeowners, it is really difficult to find landscape architects that can help you put these plans together. And they're just so busy. So you have to find someone who can put your plan together. So maybe what we do need to think about is how we communicate what's been going on. Because I know from experience how difficult it is to find a landscape architect and to get them to work on your project.
Well, it's also, I mean, to prevent from the future, this sustainability hat going on my head now. How do we educate the firms that work in the town that if a homeowner calls you up and says, take them all down, you might want to hit the pause button. And I think it's just an education process that needs to be had with certainly the larger firms that are in the town frequently.
Yeah, I mean, Chris, I can't remember, did we do something in the newsletter about this bylaw at one point? Just educating citizens and suggesting that before they were gonna do some major tree cutting, that they should check with the highway department and have them take a look at their plan.
Yeah, I know we've done something. I just don't
I
remember
thought we
exactly
did as
when.
well, but maybe we
But
do it again.
yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. It's it's
Right.
a kind of a perfect opportunity to put something out again. So I'll reach out to Kevin. We can put something together.
Great.
We also
it's
talked
often
about reaching.
confusing for residents to know what the legal requirements are. So, for example, the nuances of vernal ponds in the vicinity or whatever else
Yeah.
Can have a big impact on your freedom to cut trees.
Right. And my only, 2 cents in terms of the communications, it's a hard audience to reach in terms of vendors and contractors. We don't know who might be coming in to do work. So yeah, I mean, focus on citizens, and ultimately, the citizens are hiring the vendors. If we put the information in the right hands, they can make sure that who they're hiring is complying with the relevant laws. So I think that might be a good place to start.
Right, and do landscapers, are there instances, I know when they build rock walls, they sometimes need to get a building permit, so, and that's integrated. But I don't think for any other landscape project, right?
So
Don't
generally
believe so.
no, except to Cam's point, if it separate from our tree and stormwater
Right.
bylaw, if you encroach on wetlands, vernal pools, you can't do things within a certain amount of feet. But generally, you're right. If you have a traditional house without those sort of things, there's no landscaping permit,
Right.
with the exception of this new stormwater bylaw, which does require a permit depending on the amount of trees you're removing and their location.
Right, and I think, most of it, like a lot of people get upset when a lot is changing, but people, there are contractors that are aware that are coming to the town to ask. So we're beginning to see that already. And people can cut down trees. It's just the setbacks where they can't. So, you can't get yourself all.
No, I was going to make a quip that, what we really need is an online permitting system. But I think his head might start spinning. So,
Right. I mean, I think this is one which is all about education and reminding vendors. We had also said to make sure that realtors understand, because
Mhm.
especially when houses change hands, like the realtors walking around with the new owners, and they're talking about all kinds of things, and the realtor can say, hey, the other thing, all right, I just came up with this idea, and maybe we want to implement it and maybe we don't. When Greg and I first got married and we moved to Westwood as new homeowners, we got a welcome package. And the welcome package had all kinds of really good information. And maybe it's something we could start doing.
I literally wrote down handout for realtors on my pad right here. So
Right.
it would be a great thing to start doing in terms of let's start with a newsletter. If you would like to find out what's going on in your town, please sign up here and give them a
Right.
couple ways to do it. And outreach. I mean, it could be anywhere from, are you an EMT or firefighter? We'd love to have you join the force.
Right. So it might be
Plenty
good.
of volunteer committees that we could
Yeah.
encourage people to consider joining as well. No, I think
Sure.
that's a great idea.
Right.
And if I could, that is something that has been of pretty great interest to the team here. And I've made a couple connections with local realtors, and we're going to start actually working on a draft of just kind of that general welcome to town. Here's the the ABCs of what you need from our organization. So we should be putting something like that
I
together
love
soon,
it.
and we have the channels to get it out there. So
Okay.
I'll be sure to share when we have a draft ready.
Wow, you really are ahead of us.
Right. He's one step ahead of
Don't
us.
get used to it. No, but it's a good idea. And I know it's been mentioned before, so it's something that we do want to prioritize.
Right. It's pretty
Terrific.
sad.
Thank you.
I never have original ideas. All right. So with that, I'm going to once again ask citizens to come to the special town meeting on Monday night, Lindquist Commons, 7 p.m. And I will also ask for a motion. I'm going to make a motion to adjourn
Second.
the meeting. All in favor? I, Robin Hunter.
Hi, Dave Haviland.
Like Cam Hudson,
Excellent. Well, thank you, everyone. See you Monday night.
indeed.
Thank
Yes.
you. Have a great
Yeah.
night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.